Hi, welcome to the third season of the CEO podcast. In this season, we are going to reflect back on the first two seasons of our show and really pick out the amazing pieces of wisdom that we received from our guests and from our topics that we covered. And we're going to actually break those down into individual episodes. They're going to be a little shorter, but the information is going to be so great. And I can't wait to share it with you. So, welcome to season 3. I hope you love it. If you have any questions or you want anything addressed on the podcast, you can email your questions to askbsw@gmail.com. We'll check that out and hopefully be able to give you a little bit of advice through the podcast. Okay, so episode 1, how to face uncertainty in your business. Uncertainty is a human trait that we all deal with probably every day. We might be uncertain about small things, or we might be uncertain about massive things in our lives. So it's certain to happen in life, and it's certain to happen in business. Whether you feel this often or maybe not so often, but it comes up for you. What matters most is how we navigate it, not that we're feeling it. We're inevitably going to feel uncertain, but how we handle it and how we navigate through that uncertainty is what really matters. There are some specific tools that we can use to overcome uncertainty. The first thing to do, obviously, is recognize it. Recognize that you're feeling uncomfortable and address that kind of out in the open. Get it out there. Understand that you're feeling uncomfortable and maybe start to address the reasons why. I call this identifying what you feel in a bright light. So, like, imagine shining a big flashlight on it and lighting up every corner. No dark corners, no shadows, nothing hiding. Why are you feeling the way you're feeling? So, shining the light on it. Are you feeling uncertain because you are feeling unworthy? Are you feeling uncertain because not all of your questions are answered? So, really get down to the bottom of it. And I find writing it down is super helpful. So, what are you feeling uncertain about? And then all of the reasons, big or small, why you're feeling uncertain about that. That will help you to really be able to kind of see it laid out and see if there's anything that you can easily address, pinpoint, or overcome. Another tool I love to use is argue it like your best friend presented it to you. Find the chink in the armor. So if you have, a good friend, a sibling, somebody who comes to you with problems, you want to help them. You want to solve that. You want to get through that, unless they're coming to you with like a just listen to me problem, but that's a whole other thing. You want to be able to support your friend while also encouraging them to move past this problem, move through this problem. So argue your uncertainty with yourself like you're talking to your best friend. So how would you support them and make them feel heard while also ensuring that they're able to address that, overcome it? What tools would you use? So try to talk to yourself the way you would speak to your friend, and find those chinks in the armor. So find those parts of the argument, what you're uncertain about and why they don't apply, and what you can do to kind of reframe that. And then the last tool is something I called hourglassing. So break it down and then build it back up. So the shape of an hourglass, we've got all of the sand in the top, and then everything falls into the bottom when we turn it over, right? So we're taking all of the problems that were in the bottom of the hourglass, and when we turn it over, we're filtering those problems back through to realign themselves on the bottom. So when we take an issue we're dealing with and we hourglass it, we're basically breaking it down and putting it back together in a way that is positive and restructures the problem so that we can move forward and solve it. So if you're feeling uncertain, for example, about raising your prices, identify this in the bright light. So you want to raise your prices because the cost of living is going up, because you know that you're worth more and your services are more valuable, because you have more experience under your belt, because the cost of rent has gone up, because the cost of gas has gone up, all of these reasons, but you still feel uncertain about it. You're worried that no one is going to want to pay your new prices. You're worried that you're going to face backlash from clients. So identifying what that is and shining that light on it means writing down all of those things. So what is your reasoning behind why you want to make that change? Or if you're facing uncertainty about a decision you've come to, or you think you kind of want to do, you need to address, first of all the reasons why it's the right decision. And then you need to look at what are those niggling bits in your head that are holding you back or making you feel uncertain about that decision. So if you want to raise your prices and you know why you want to raise your prices, you also need to look at what are your doubts and your fears surrounding that uncertainty and really shine the light on those. So make sure you get them all down, even the smallest little ones. Am I going to be able to state my new prices with confidence to my clients? How am I going to tell clients that have worked with me before when they come back to me that I've raised my prices? Like, are they going to be mad? Are they going to be upset? All of the things you can possibly think of surrounding that uncertainty, write it down. Okay. So that is the shining the bright light. The second one, arguing it like you're talking to your best friend. So if your best friend came to you and said, I really want to raise my prices. This is why, I want to be making more of a profit. I'm barely breaking even, whatever the reason might be. You'd say, yes, you should raise your prices. You deserve to raise your prices. You're amazing. These are the reasons why you're amazing. These are the reasons why you should raise your prices. Well, if you have a client that might argue it, repeat those reasons to them. Reinstate your value. Why are you important? So arguing it like you would with your best friend, truthfully, if it helps to kind of even have your best friend like role play that with you, if they're open to that, that would be key. Or even just if you need to like kind of imagine them sitting there and have that conversation with them, have the conversation in a mirror. I don't care how you do it. Just do it. Make sure you get it out there and then write those arguments down and read them back to yourself. Like, love yourself and do that for yourself, or have that super amazing best friend that will do it with you. That's an amazing exercise. I can't state that one enough. To treat yourself like somebody you love. So key. And the last one, hourglass it. So breaking down all of those arguments. So what are the arguments you're having with yourself, and find holes in that and why that's not going to work. And then reframe the arguments you're making against your uncertainty or for your uncertainty. Reframe that so that it's now a positive thing. So for example, you want to charge a higher rate, but you're worried that people aren't going to pay your higher rate. So look for examples. Is anybody else in your industry charging that rate? And if they are, somebody's paying that rate for that service. There you go. Someone's paying it. You've reframed that. It is a service somebody will pay that amount of money for. Reframed it, put it on the other side of the hourglass. So you're really using that hourglass as you're taking a piece of something that you are not sure about or that you're worried about, and then you're reframing it and you're flipping it on its head. So you're moving it to the other side of the hourglass. So basically, the whole kind of visual of that is you want to be able to take that hourglass with all of your uncertainty in the bottom, and you want to flip it. And as that sand trickles through to the bottom, you are basically reframing all of those issues and all of those things you identified with the light. You're reframing it so that when the sand has reached the bottom, you have a whole new viewpoint on your uncertainty and how to move through that. I hope that you guys found that helpful, quick and dirty. Leave a comment, subscribe to the podcast, and we would love if you rated and reviewed it. And definitely stay tuned. We have some exciting stuff in the pipeline for more of this type of content. So thank you for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.